Breaking tonight out of Austin, Texas. A horrifying crime scene discovered inside a frozen yogurt shop. 4 teenage girls found murdered late Friday night, bound and shot execution style inside the store. Investigators say the suspect, or suspects, then set the building on fire, apparently trying to destroy evidence. Firefighters responding to the blaze made the grim discovery just before midnight. Police are calling it one of the most brutal crimes in Austin history.
On the night of December 6, 1991, 4 teenage girls were trapped inside a frozen yogurt shop in Austin, Texas. They were robbed, they were terrorized, and before the night was over, they were murdered and left behind as the building was set on fire to erase what had been done. This is the story of the yogurt shop murders, a case that would haunt a city, destroy families, and spiral into one of the most controversial investigations in Texas history, with multiple suspects, shattered confessions, and no final conviction. Friday night in Austin, Texas, December 6, 1991. The city is calm, humming with the low energy of the holiday season just beginning. Christmas lights are starting to appear on rooftops. Radios play pop songs of the early 90s. Nothing feels wrong. At a small strip mall in North Austin sits I Can't Believe It's Yogurt, a brightly colored frozen yogurt shop, popular with families and teenagers alike. It's not glamorous. It's not famous. It's just a place where kids work part-time jobs and friends meet after school. That night, 4 girls are inside. Eliza Thomas, 17, thoughtful, kind, responsible. Jennifer Harbison, 17, sharp, independent, dreaming of college. Amy Ayers, 13, energetic, young, excited just to be there. Sarah Harbison, 15, Jennifer's younger sister, tagging along for the evening. They don't know it yet, but this will be the last night of their lives. The night starts normally. Customers come and go. The girls clean counters, refill toppings, laugh about school and weekend plans. Amy and Sarah eat yogurt at a small table while waiting for the shift to end. At around 10:30 p.m., the shop begins to empty. The mall grows quiet. One by one, businesses close their gates. Outside, the parking lot lights cast long shadows across the asphalt. Inside the shop, the 4 girls are alone. Somewhere between 10:30 and 11 p.m., something or someone enters the store. What happens next will never be fully known. At some point late that night, the shop is robbed. The cash register is opened. Money is taken. But this is not a simple robbery. Evidence later suggests the girls are forced into the back of the store, into a narrow hallway leading to a storage area and bathroom. They are bound, and then one by one they are shot. Each girl is killed at close range. Afterward, the attacker or attackers attempt to destroy the evidence. A fire is set. Flames begin to consume the yogurt shop, climbing walls, blackening ceilings, swallowing the truth in smoke and heat. Whoever did this leaves the girls behind and disappears into the Austin night. Just after 11 p.m., someone reports a fire at the strip mall. Firefighters arrive quickly, expecting a routine blaze, but as they force their way inside the yogurt shop, something feels wrong. The fire isn't spreading naturally, it looks intentional. And then they find the bodies. 4 teenage girls, bound, shot, burned. The fire is no accident, it's a message. By morning, the news has spread across Austin. 4 girls murdered in a yogurt shop. The brutality shocks the city. Parents hug their children tighter. Schools hold emergency meetings. The sense of safety, especially for teenagers, is shattered overnight. Austin has seen crime before, but not like this. Not 4 girls, not bound and executed, not burned. The case immediately becomes one of the largest investigations in Austin Police Department history. The fire complicates everything. Evidence is destroyed. DNA is damaged. Footprints, fingerprints, fibers gone or compromised. Still, investigators find what they can. Shell casings, bindings used on the girls, signs of forced movement into the back room. And one crucial fact, the killer didn't panic. They took their time. This wasn't impulsive. This was controlled. In the days that follow, tips flood in. Hundreds of them. Neighbors report strange cars, suspicious men, voices heard late at night. Nothing solid. No murder weapon is found. No clear suspect emerges. The city waits and waits. Weeks pass. Months, the investigation stalls, and pressure mounts. For years, the case goes cold. The families live in limbo, trapped between grief and unanswered questions. Who did this? Why 4 girls? Why so brutal? Why no arrest? Austin doesn't forget, but the truth remains buried in ash. Then, in the mid-1990s, police announce a breakthrough. 4 teenage boys. Confessions. At last, suspects. But as the case moves forward, cracks appear. Confessions change. Stories don't align. Evidence is thin. And soon the investigation that was meant to bring justice begins to unravel into something far darker. By the mid-1990s, the yogurt shop murders have become an open wound. 4 years have passed. 4 families are still waiting, and the Austin Police Department is under immense pressure. Every anniversary brings renewed media scrutiny. Headlines ask the same question again and again: how could 4 girls be murdered so brutally and no one be held accountable? Inside the department, the message is clear. This case needs closure. No matter how long it takes, no matter the cost. In 1996, investigators turned their attention to 4 young men: Robert Springsteen, Michael Scott, Maurice Pierce, Forrest Wellborn. They are not hardened criminals. They are teenagers and young adults. Some have minor criminal records. Some struggle with education. Some are eager to please authority figures. Some are simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Police begin questioning them again and again. Hours turn into days, days into weeks, and slowly something begins to happen. Eventually, confessions emerge. Details spill out, details that seem to match the crime. The suspects describe the yogurt shop, the back room, the fire. Police believe they've finally cracked the case, but there's a problem. Each confession is different. Timelines don't align. Roles shift. Details change depending on who is speaking and when. And some facts appear only after investigators suggest them. Still, the confessions are recorded, and in the eyes of law enforcement, that's enough. When the arrests are announced, Austin reacts with cautious relief. Finally, suspects. Finally, answers. But almost immediately, doubts surface. Defense attorneys raise alarms. Civil rights groups begin asking questions. How did police get these confessions? Why is there no physical evidence tying the suspects to the scene? Why do the stories contradict one another? The city that once demanded justice now watches uneasily as the case heads to court. The courtroom becomes the new battleground. Prosecutors lean heavily on the confessions. They argue that only someone involved could know such details. Defense attorneys counter with a chilling narrative: these confessions were coerced. The suspects were interrogated for hours without lawyers. They were threatened. They were fed information. They were young, scared, and desperate to escape the pressure. And then comes the science. As DNA technology advances, evidence from the yogurt shop is re-examined. The results are explosive. DNA recovered from the crime scene does not match the accused men. Not one of them. The foundation of the prosecution begins to crumble. What was once certainty turns into doubt, and doubt turns into disaster. One by one, the cases collapse. Charges are dropped. Convictions are overturned. Years of legal battles dissolve in a single ruling. The four men walk free, after spending years under suspicion, some behind bars. But freedom doesn't erase what's been done. Their lives are permanently scarred, and the families of the victims are left once again with nothing. No convictions, no justice, no answers. With the suspects cleared, investigators are back at square one. Other names surface over the years. Drifters, violent offenders, men with histories of similar crimes. But evidence never solidifies. DNA profiles remain unidentified. Witness memories fade. The trail grows colder with every passing year. The killer or killers remain unknown. For the families, time doesn't heal. It stretches the pain. Birthdays come and go. Holidays are empty. The girls remain frozen in memory, forever young, forever unfinished. They attend hearings. They read reports. They wait and wait. More than 3 decades later, the yogurt shop murders remain unsolved. No one has been held responsible. No final conviction, just questions, hanging in the air like smoke that never fully clears. Who walked into that shop on a quiet Friday night? Who tied up 4 girls? Who pulled the trigger? And who set the fire? Until those answers come, the case lives on, not as history, but as a warning about pressure, about justice, and about what happens when the search for answers outruns the truth. When the prosecutions collapse, the yogurt shop murders are officially returned to cold case status. For investigators, this is a nightmare scenario. Years of work, erased, public trust, damaged, evidence, degraded by time, fire, and earlier missteps. Yet the crime itself remains unchanged. 4 girls were murdered, and someone is still out there. The case is reassigned, reviewed, and dissected piece by piece. Every mistake is cataloged. Every overlooked lead is reopened. But starting over doesn't mean starting fresh. It means starting with ruins. Among the few surviving pieces of physical evidence is DNA. Partial, degraded, but undeniably real. It does not belong to the men who confessed. Instead, it points to unknown male contributors. Plural. This fact alone changes the narrative. The murders may not have been committed by a lone attacker. They may have involved multiple perpetrators. The DNA profiles are entered into national databases. And then, nothing. No match. No name. Just genetic shadows. One theory begins to take shape. Could this have been the work of a serial offender? The brutality, the control, the execution-style killings, the attempt to destroy evidence with fire. These are not random acts. They suggest experience. Investigators examine similar crimes across Texas and neighboring states. Robberies turned executions, fires set to cover murders, young victims, but patterns don't line up cleanly. No definitive link is ever made. Still, the possibility lingers. Attention turns back to Austin itself. Violent offenders living in the area in 1991. Men with histories of armed robbery. Men with access to firearms. Men who vanished shortly after the murders. Some are questioned. Some are ruled out. Some refuse to talk. but none can be definitively placed inside the yogurt shop that night. The fire did its job too well. Another troubling idea emerges. What if the killer knew the shop? The back hallway is narrow. The storage area is hidden. The girls are moved efficiently. There is no sign of prolonged struggle in the front of the store. Some investigators believe whoever committed the murders had been inside before. A former customer, a local, someone comfortable enough to take control quickly. But again, belief is not proof. As the years pass, the focus shifts from who did it to how the investigation failed. The interrogations of the teenage suspects become a case study in what can go wrong. Hours without breaks. Leading questions. Promises of leniency. Threats of severe punishment. Psychological pressure designed to break resistance. Experts later testify that the confessions match classic patterns of false admissions, not lies, but survival instincts. The case becomes a warning, not just about murder, but about justice itself. Public confidence erodes. People ask hard questions. If the wrong men were nearly convicted or imprisoned, then who was the investigation really serving? Justice or closure at any cost? The city is forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Sometimes the system fails everyone. Victims, families, suspects, communities. The families of the victims speak publicly, not in anger, but in exhaustion. They want the truth, not scapegoats. They want answers, not headlines. They support renewed DNA testing. They support transparency. But each year that passes feels heavier than the last. Justice delayed doesn't feel like justice. It feels like abandonment. As technology improves, hope returns. Cold cases across the country are being solved decades later through genetic genealogy. Could this case be next? Evidence is re-examined, but the damage from the fire and time limits what can be done. The DNA profiles are incomplete, fragments of a truth that refuses to assemble. Still, investigators persist, because one breakthrough is all it would take. Over the years, theories multiply. A group of local criminals, a traveling offender, a crime gone wrong, a deliberate execution. Each theory has supporters, each has holes, none have answers, and so the case exists in a strange limbo, both alive and frozen. It's easy to get lost in suspects and failures, but at the center of this case are 4 lives, 4 futures stolen. They were daughters, sisters, friends, teenagers with plans that never had the chance to unfold. They are not evidence. They are not headlines. They are the reason this story still matters. The yogurt shop murders haunt us because they remain unresolved, because mistakes compounded tragedy, because certainty was chosen over truth, and because somewhere someone knows what happened that night. Until that person is found, the fire never truly goes out. Justice doesn't always arrive with a verdict. Sometimes it waits. Sometimes it hides. Sometimes it demands patience longer than a lifetime. The yogurt shop murders remain open, unsolved, and unfinished. If you want more gripping true crime stories like this, hit like and subscribe and never miss a case.